and had a good conversation with the quarterbacks this morning. And so we're going to go ahead and start Jarrett the last couple games of the season here. None of us is happy with where we're at, but we think it's an opportunity to evaluate a younger player who hasn't had much time to play. Talking to Derek, who was great. He understands the scenario that we're in and the situation, and very supportive of the two young guys. Those three guys obviously have worked together hand in hand all year, and he'll do anything he can to help them. So, that's what we're going to do.
Him being one of my really good friends, and the reason why I came here in the first place. I mean, I wouldn't be here right now if he wasn't here. So I think everybody knows how I feel about him, but obviously I support my guy. And
Raider Nation, what is going on? I'm Hardcore Raider, coming at you guys with a video. Just want to give you an update on a couple things and kind of go over some notes here real quick. First of all, got a lot of views on the last video I did about Derek Carr, so I know I've gotten quite a bit of subscribers from that. So I just want to say I really appreciate you guys. Keep subscribing. We're going to give away a Devontae Adams jersey like this guy once I reach 1,000 subscribers. So just under 200 away from hitting that mark. So I appreciate it if you guys would keep subbing to my channel and whatnot. It means a lot to me. So gonna go over some of this infighting amongst Raider Nation in this video, as well as some of the Raider content creators. And some people will like it, some people won't. I want to tell you a little bit about myself if you're just subscribed to my channel, and then kind of want to go over what it means to be a Raider. Tonight we are going to go live. It's going to be at least me, Raider Dave, Raider Critique. Probably going to be 8 p.m. Pacific time. That's what we're thinking. We're trying to get everybody's schedules to line up, but that's probably what we're going to do. Sometimes a little hard to get everybody's schedules lined up, but make sure you guys tune in for that 8 p.m. Pacific time. Going to go live, and essentially we're just going to give a lot of respect to Derek Carr. There's enough of this, stuff going on right now. And, we're going to do a tribute show in honorary of Derek Carr the right way, the way it should be. So you guys please tune into that. About myself, I just want to let you guys know, if you're just subscribed to my channel, what you can expect from me, because I think this is important, especially if you don't know me and who I am, what I bring to the table, and what to expect if you watch any of our shows. So I'm a diehard Raider fan. My name's Hardcore Raider. Gave myself that name years ago because I'm just an emotional, passionate Raider fan. Sometimes some people don't like it, to be honest with you guys, because I'm very emotional. Sometimes I come off the handle, but it's just my love for the silver and black. I bleed silver and black. I love this team. I always want us to win. When we lose, it hurts me deep, takes me days to recover. It's been that way since I was many years ago, going back all the way to high school. My dad used to be like, get upset at me because I'd be upset that the Raiders lost. I'd be upset for 2-3 days. And anybody that's been a fan of this team for a long time, it's been a rough, 20 years, let's be honest, from all sides of the fence, whether someone's for Carr, against Carr, whatever it might be. We've been through a lot as a fan base. Okay. So, one of the things my dad taught me was, when we, as human beings, that like we think like something will happen to us in our life or something, guys. And a lot of times we think that like we're 90% right and the other person's like 10% wrong, or maybe we think we're 100% right. Okay. In any given situation, what my dad tried to teach me and my brothers was that every situation, it's not black or white. Like you think you might be 90% correct on your view of something. But there's like your view, the other person's view, and the truth is somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle, you'll find the truth. So a lot of times in life, things aren't as black as white as we think it is. And so there's always going to be like a median somewhere in the middle of where the truth really lands. So, I try to have that perspective of certain things my father taught me before he passed away, of implementing that in my life, no matter the subject. Special Raiders football, I try to be fair. Sometimes my emotions get the best of me, but essentially I try really hard just to like, look at all sides of the fence. Usually it takes after my emotions calm down. That's why a lot of times I won't go live right after the Raiders lose, because I'm pretty fired up or whatever. Or even if they win, I'm pretty fired up in a positive way. So that's how I look at things. That's hopefully what you guys can expect from me if you tune in, that I'm not like necessarily pro Carr, I'm not anti Carr, but I'm always going to look at things from a perspective of try to look at all sides of the fence, because I do believe it takes all kinds of people to make the world go round. Okay, so that's always been like my perspective, and what I tried to bring to my channel. So I started this channel about 4 years ago. Let's kind of get into the Raider content creator stuff and give you a little history lesson how the stuff really went down. Some people will like this, some people won't, and I know that. But I'm just going to tell you the facts of how things really are and how this thing evolved to where it is now. Now, I did take a break during the virus. I did have some issues with not having fans in the stands. Our first year in Vegas bothered me, as well as a few other things, but not going to get into that right now. But I took a break for a couple years. Before I took a break, before the virus happened and all that stuff, we were doing next level stuff on this show. Okay. And I'm going to tell you how it started. So, Mikey Raider Central Live. Mikey is the OG. Okay. The OG above all OGs, meaning he was like really the first one out there putting out Raider content and whatnot. And, you know, Mikey was a huge inspiration to me when, I got started on my own channel years ago. So, Mikey was the OG. The other guys that inspired me to start my channel was Raiders Fan Radio, Murph, Pillaging Podcast, Raider Ben, Watts Raider. Those guys were guys that really inspired me to like start my own YouTube channel. Okay, this started out actually with me, Raider Critique, and Raider Critique, and Raider Dave. We started on Raider Ben's channel. We're chopping up with him. I branched out, started my own channel. Watts came on. Watts was extremely implemental of the growth and helping us and creating some next level stuff. So when I started the channel, the Hardcore Raider Nation podcast on YouTube, here was my thinking and my thought, right? So we got to go back to the move from Oakland to Vegas, and there was a lot of hate in Raider Nation. I'm a big Raider fan. I saw a lot of Raider content creators coming up, and I wanted to bring all these like great Raider minds together. Okay. Like anybody, no matter their opinion, it was like they could be pro Carr, against Carr. I didn't care. I wanted to bring them on one platform, and that was my show. And I want to bring all these people on, and we just chop it up. We talk Raiders because we all love the Raiders. We all love silver and black. So, throughout that time before the virus happened, we had a lot of great guests on. Probably going to miss some. I apologize, but I'm just going to go off top of my head. We had guys on from Raider Cody, Kenny King, Murph from Raiders Fan Radio, your boy Q, the Violator, Captain Jack, of course, Watts Raider, Raider Critique, Raider Dave, Grimecast. And we're trying to rotate as many people as we can just to bring new people on, and it was great until the virus happened. And, I took a step back and whatnot. So, and there's other guys too that was doing this before the virus, like Samoan Raider, Sanjit, and whatnot, and some smaller guys starting out probably around that time too. Once the virus happened, here's the deal, guys. I took a step back, and there's a lot of guys that came on the scene, guys that only had a channel for like 2 years now. Maybe that's, I don't know, maybe they're on unemployment, collecting unemployment, doing Raider videos at this point, whatever. I mean, they be them. But guys from Docs, Wi-Fi Willie, Raider Honcho, and there's a bunch of others. A lot of these guys came on the scene right during the virus. A lot of people were home. I guess that had nothing to do or whatever. But and some of these cats, I mean, straight up copied the platform of what we were doing and what we were bringing to the table. I did step aside for a bit, so like I'm not exactly mad, but I'm just gonna let you guys know how the stuff really went down. Wi-Fi Willie, he straight up like copied Mikey Raider and Raider Central Live's content. I know some people are, probably subscribed that are, supporters of him, and that's fine, dude. Everybody has their own like niche of like how they do things. But I just want to say, like, this channel was created to bring unity to the Raider Nation when there was a lot of adversity and a lot of fighting because of the move from Oakland to Vegas. Like, it inspired me to start my own channel, and that's what we brought to the table, and that was always our message and always been our message. Essentially, I've had two rules on my show. Okay, we don't get personal, meaning we don't personally attack each other. One, okay, it's an important rule for me. Two, we try not to interrupt, each other because it makes bad audio and, whatnot. So the point is I try to give everybody a voice, no matter their opinion. Just don't take it to a point where things get personal. And I'm not perfect. I'm not saying like I haven't came off the handle or whatever, but we try to treat each other with respect, no matter if their opinion is different or what background they have or whatever, because it takes all kinds of people to make the world go round. Okay. Um, so, after the virus died down, I wanted to come back on the scene. But there was a lot of guys that copied the platform that I was doing. I could have blew my channel up. I'll be honest with you guys, dude. We were doing next level stuff long before people started doing Zoom and all that stuff. And I ain't trying to pat myself on the back. I don't mean it like that, or to come off the wrong way. But I just want to tell you guys the facts that a lot of guys started doing Raider channels after the move to Vegas, and they cashed in. They saw a cash in opportunity to make money off YouTube, and their loyalty may not be where it should be on both sides of the fence, whether someone's pro Carr or against Carr. Their loyalty may not be to this right here, the shield. People stealing like things I've said and whatever. Um, you know, irritates me a little bit, but I just want to say, like, I've been on here, said like nobody's bigger than the shield, and I mean that. And that goes for all these Raider content creators and whatever. I've always wanted to bring unity to Raider Nation, bring other people on this platform, and show that we can all get along no matter our differences. Okay. Some people don't want to do that because they're more worried about their subscribers and the money they're going to make and competition than being a family. So when you come to the point is this, guys, when you come to my show, you come to my channel, whether I'm solo or I have other people on, we're always going to try to be fair. We're always going to give people a voice. Okay. And, we're going to be respectful to each other. That's important to me. The channel that I have is small. I want to get to 1,000 subscribers. Yes. But, we have a tight niche family here, guys, a tight niche family. And that's important to me. That's really important to me because to me, it's about quality, not quantity. Okay. So like in our chats and stuff, dude, we have people on all sides of the fences, and I'm good with that as long as they don't get personal and attack each other like personally. That then we'll have some problems. Okay, so I appreciate all the people that subscribed, but I just want you to understand and know the basis of how this channel was created. Okay, some people may not like full honesty, but I always try to be honest, whether it's good, bad, and different. I'm going to speak my mind. I have freedom of speech. I'm an Army combat vet, and I'm going to speak it at times, guys. Um, that's not what this show is about tonight. We're going to honor Derek Carr the right way. We're going to send this guy out the right way, the Raider way. Okay. The way it should be. But, all this fighting and stuff going on, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit because now we're getting to a point where people are getting personally attacking each other and trying to pull out who can bench press more. And that's never what it's about. The OGs in Raider Nation, the Raider content creators, it was always about family and unity. And that's what it was supposed to be about. That's what this channel was created for. And some of these guys have taken advantage of that. And I think they've lost their way. And that does upset me. I'll be honest with you guys. It makes me not feel very good inside. Right. Even if someone was ready to move on from Carr, I've been there at times. I'll be honest with you guys. I've been there at times. But even at that, like, we got to be respectful, man. We got to learn what it means to be a Raider and to be family. And that's what this show brings. We're going to bring, do our best to bring Raider Nation together, be a family, love on each other, have our differences. Everybody has freedom of speech. Yes. But we're going to do it, and we're going to do it in the best way that we can. We're going to bring it to the table. So, that's all I got to say about the Raider content creators. Well, I'll say one more thing. The beef between stuff, man, I've had beef with other content creators too. Going back to Raider Ben, me and him had a little scuffle, but time passes, man. We wash that shit under the bridge, dude. That's my homie. And, we're always going to have respect for one another, So sometimes, man, in life, you have beef with other people. Raider Critique, one of my great friends, dude. Raider Critique and me used to have beef in other people's chats. And actually, Mikey, Raider Central, we used to have beef in his chat with each other. And I found out in time, me and Raider Critique actually had a lot in common. We're actually so similar that our love and our passion for this team was the exact same. And when we got to link up outside of just typing in chats and stuff, and I started my own channel, I realized, dude, we're we're just a lot of a similar personality, and me and him, a lot of times we don't agree. That's what I want. I don't want a platform, if we bring on guests and stuff, where we all are saying the same thing and agree. I mean, Who wants to hear that? I want people that actually disagree with me and give their take of how they feel. That's how it should be. We should all be able to have an opinion without getting personal and personally attacking people. And now, after like me and Raider Critique had that beef long ago, like that's one of my best friends, you know? So, you know, and same with other people like me and Watts. We don't always agree on stuff, but I still love him. He's still my brother, man. You know, me and some of these other Raider content creators, we may not agree all the time, but you know, if they bleed silver and black, I'm all about it, dude. Just remember that it's always like, don't get it twisted, like where you guys are doing this for the money. Okay. Do it to where you're doing it for the love and the passion of the Raiders and the Raider Nation. All right. Um, you know, sometimes my style is a little raw. Some people don't like that, as I mentioned kind of earlier. But it's just 100% passion. So forgive me if I come off the handle. You know, if you're a new subscriber, I appreciate it. But that's just like genuinely like who I am, dude. As an Army combat vet, I got fire, man. And the fire that burns in my soul is like the Al Davis torch. It's just going to keep on burning, you know? So hopefully you guys, you know, can appreciate that to some degree. Um, you know, I guess the last thing I really want to touch on is just, you know, some of the stuff with like Derek Carr, but I don't want to talk about it too much. I just want to mainly say is like, you know, as I think about this, it kind of reminds me of something. I'll tell you guys a story about something as me as a Raider fan. Now, I know there's a lot of younger Raider fans in the Raider Nation right now. Some guys that maybe just came on the scene when Derek Carr was our quarterback. You know, and speaking of that, me and Raider Dave, back when he had his channel up, he's getting it back up here shortly, but Dave with Grimecast Media, me and him did a show like an hour and a half long. We went through every quarterback before Derek Carr, just giving like mad respect to Derek Carr. And this was like 3-4 years ago. Okay. You know, really broke down all those other quarterbacks and how bad the Raiders sucked during those times of other quarterbacks. And so we gave a lot of props and respect to Derek Carr, as it should have been at the time, you know? So, you know, gave a lot of love in that area. So I know there's a lot of younger fans that are like on the fence. They're like, well, I'm going to root for Derek Carr if he's on another team or whatever. And, you know, if that's your choice, that's your choice. That's fine, dude. I'm not going to knock you for that, dude. I mean, I love Derek Carr. But here's one thing I would say. If you're a Raider fan and you're on the fence and you're upset about this, you know, I'll say like the video I did about my farewell to Derek Carr, that was honestly before I even heard or found out that the Raiders kind of did him dirty. Essentially, the way it's looking is that the Raiders were like, hey, you know, you're going to leave the organization and, you know, pack your bags and hasta la vista. And, you know, that honestly, that kind of sucks. I didn't realize it was that way. I'm not big on social media. I mean, I do have a, you know, a Twitter and whatnot, but you know, when I heard about that after I had done my own, um, you know, that video that morning, I just did that video like from my heart. I didn't even know the Raiders had done them dirty like that. I just knew the basic kind of narrative that was out there, like Derek Carr like openly wanted to go home or whatever. I didn't realize it was, you know, actually quite a bit different than that. So to be honest with you, man, that sucks. That does hurt my heart. So given that information, it probably looks like his chances of being a Raider is done. And you know, so it's heartbreaking. You know, I'll just kind of leave it at that or whatever. If you guys do want to be part of my Twitter feed or whatever, I usually just kind of promote my shows and stuff on there, but it's at Raider_hardcore. So on Twitter, it's at Raider_hardcore. If you guys want to follow me, but anyways, you know, to the younger fans of the guys that were like pure Carr supporters, I'm going to share a story with you guys and then, you know, we'll end this little video. So when I think about it, it reminds me of when John Gruden was our coach in the early 2000s. Okay. In the early 2000s, we sucked before Gruden. Gruden came on the scene, really helped willed us to some wins, eventually making the playoffs. I remember Rich Gannon getting sacked by Saragusa from the Ravens, and Saragusa hits Rich Gannon and like belly flops on him, dude. And Rich Gannon just was like a pancake getting smashed, dude, and took Rich Gannon out of the game. I believe that was the AFC Championship game. And so that was, we probably would have gone to the Super Bowl that year. Okay. I think the year prior was when we played the Titans in the championship game or something, or in the playoffs. Maybe it was like, maybe not championship, but I think we lost to the Titans the year prior. And then going into the next year was the Tuck game with Tom Brady and the Patriots when the Raiders started their dynasty. And that was John Gruden's last coaching the Raiders. And that game hurt me, guys. That game hurt me so bad. It still is like embedded in my soul. I loved John Gruden. I loved like the fire that he had for this team, getting the players motivated. The Raiders had lost years prior to John Gruden. We had lost so many games in the last 2 to 4 minutes of the game. It was insane. Gruden came on with that fire. Didn't initially start out as Chucky. I think once he realized that we were losing games, close games that we should have won, I think that's what built, in my opinion, that's what built Chucky. And people like, because, you know, he didn't give himself the name. He was just like angry, you know, and people were like, because the movie Chucky, they're like, oh, he's Chucky. And so that's what got him the nickname. It was actually the Raiders losing games and Gruden being really fired up. So I love that passion about him. And, you know, he brought us really close and brought us to the playoffs. And, you know, we had a really good team, probably better team than we have now to some degree, you know, of all aspects, you know, but when we went against the Patriots in the Tuck game, that was Gruden's last year. I mean, Gruden got shit canned, very similar to what the Raiders are doing to Derek Carr right now. And the Raiders bitch slapped, you know, John Gruden. And excuse my language, I do curse sometimes. I try not to, but it fires me up, you know. So, you know, Gruden got traded to Tampa, and we got some draft picks, and none of them even end up working out, which was crazy. But got a bunch of draft picks for Gruden, and then, you know, that whole season, I'll be honest with you guys, like I'm never gonna stop being a Raider fan, but it hurt me so deep that like I couldn't watch the Raiders that year. A lot of those games I refused to watch. I was like, nope, I'm not going to watch the Raiders. So I would work. I would work on Sundays. I was working 7 days a week, and just so furious. And the Raiders did awesome that year. Went to the playoffs, kicking butt. We were like one of the best offenses in the NFL that year. And next thing you know, we end up facing John Gruden in the Super Bowl. So, you know, I was watching the playoff games and stuff, of course, but, you know, I kind of did what I feel a lot of Raider fans are going to do because they're so upset about this Derek Carr thing where they're almost like boycotting the Raiders. Like, I'll show them. And I know I've done it, dude. That was me. And I was in my early 20s at the time. This is like 20 years ago, you know? So we go to the Super Bowl, and like, I was like, I was like, it was weird going in the Super Bowl because I was upset that we like let John Gruden go. And it was, I almost felt like, I hope John Gruden beats the Raiders ass. I almost felt that way. It was weird. Okay. It was like, I'm a Raider fan, but like the guy across the aisle from us should be the guy that fucking took us there. The guy sitting on the other side of the sideline that we're competing against should be the guy that took us to the Super Bowl, not Bill Callahan, who was a joke. Bill Callahan kept John Gruden's playbook. It was John Gruden's team that Bill Callahan took to the Super Bowl for the Raiders. And Bill Callahan was never a Raider. That dude did not love the Raiders. John Gruden loved the Raiders. So go to that Super Bowl. We lost. It hurt. It was devastating. But what hurt most was like, that was our coach across the aisle that should have been the one to take us there. And so like, it made me realize like after that point that like, and it's not like I was rooting for John Gruden to beat the Raiders, but like I was so pissed at Al Davis for getting rid of John Gruden that it like embedded in my soul. And now Mark Davis just did a replay of what what his father Al Davis did to John Gruden. This is like a mirror image, dude. Like this is weird stuff. So I guess the apple don't fall far from the tree and whatnot. So, you know, and I don't know, maybe with Derek Carr, the Band-Aid had to be ripped off, and maybe there was no easy way it was ever going to happen, but I just didn't think it was going to happen after everything Carr gave to this franchise for it to happen like this. So, you know, when I look back and I think about all this stuff with John Gruden, like, it just makes you think, like, you know, like I said before, that no one person is ever bigger than the Shield. And Al Davis showed that throughout many years. Al Davis, you know, had Marcus Allen leave. Al Davis did it to John Gruden, and now it looks like Mark Davis is taking a replay from Al Davis. So I'm not saying I agree with the way they let this go down, but Mark Davis is essentially doing a replay of his father Al, and you know, it hurts, guys. It does, you know. But again, when I look back at how that John Gruden thing worked out, like it was devastating, guys. That was supposed to be our coach. That was our coach, you know. And so it hurt when we went to the Super Bowl with the wrong coach, you know. It was like mentally, like it was like a mental overload, even as a fan, to watch that. And so it just made me realize at the end of it that like My loyalty wasn't to John Gruden. It was to the Raiders, and it always needs to be to the Raiders. Okay. And it was a harsh reality for me to wake up and like just remember that, like, you know, because I was kind of secretly rooting for John Gruden when he left the Raiders. I'm like so pissed at Al Davis and stuff. And then we got to face him in the Super Bowl. And I'm like, well, this is a conflict of interest. So my point is this: if you became a Raider fan recently, we'll say the last 10, 15 years or something like that, and you love Derek Carr, I get it, dude. I love the guy too. But just remember, man, that there's something special about this fan base that's different than any other fan base. And whether Derek Carr is here or gone, it shouldn't change like how you decide to move forward as a Raider fan. And I know it sucks because this dysfunctional franchise is like some, I don't even know how to put it in, like, unless I start cussing and stuff, but this franchise has really put the fans through a lot. The only time I can like remember this much infighting and like drama between Raider Nation is the move from Oakland to Vegas, like straight up, you know. So like I get it, you know. I know there's a lot of Carr fan and Carr supporters out there, and I am too. I love the guy, man. But at the end of it, we should all be a Raider fan first. A Raider fan first and Carr supporter second. I'll support Carr when he's on other teams, you know, or whoever he plays until he plays the Raiders. But don't get it twisted that if Derek Carr plays the Raiders in a Super Bowl or something crazy like that, like the John Gruden thing, I mean, don't get it twisted with who I'm rooting for. It's always going to be the Shield, and it's always going to be about the nation, and that's the Raider Nation. So just want to kind of give you guys a quick kind of, you know, break some things down about the Raider content creators. Um, you know, what you can expect from me if you've recently joined my channel, you know, because I don't want anybody to get sideswiped, you know. But tonight, the show tonight is to honor Derek Carr the right way, send him out the right way, and we're going to give him a lot of love the way it should be. And those that just want to hate on him and bash on him, that's fine. Let them be them, right? Even if you've been at a point to move on from Derek Carr, which I have been at times, you know, we want you guys to come on, but like do it like lovingly, man. Let's have some class. Can we do that, Raider Nation? Can we have some freaking class? And let's send this dude out the right way and let's give him some love for what he did do. Okay. We have all the time in the world to talk about what he didn't do and the next quarterback and all that other, you know, stuff. And there's going to be a lot of videos on it, you know, and I'll make a few, in my opinions at a later point in time. But right now, dude, let's send this dude out the right way. Let's do this right. The Raider way, the way that it should be, the way that it should have been. So whether it's Mark Davis or Josh McDaniels, if they ain't got class, let us, Raider Nation, unite as one family. There's only one nation. That's Raider Nation. That's why I say that. That's why I say that, because we're a family. Let's unite together for Carr, against Carr. We're going to have a great show tonight. Going to work really hard to try to put out a great show for everybody. And we're going to come together. We're going to respect each other, not personally attack each other. Okay. And we ain't about making that money off YouTube and all that stuff. It's about the Raiders. It's about the Raider Nation. And we're going to send Derek Carr, a legend for the Raiders, out the right way and give him love, respect, the way it should be. And if you don't like that, please don't tune in. I'll tell you right now, please do not tune in. If you're going to get personal with people, like I don't want you here. As much as I want subscribers, I appreciate it. I just won't tolerate it. Not tonight. You guys can do that dumbass shit somewhere fucking else and whatnot. So look forward to the show. Probably going to be 8 p.m. Pacific time. Hopefully you guys are there. Got some really good notes planned and whatnot. So we're going to try our best. Hopefully you guys participate and let's send Derek Carr out the right way, the Raider way. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm Hardcore Raider and there's only one nation. That's Raider Nation. Hardcore Raider out.
And had a good conversation with the quarterbacks this morning, and so we're going to go ahead and start Jarrett the last couple games of the season here. You know, none of us is happy with where we're at, but we think it's an opportunity to you know, evaluate a younger player who hasn't had much time to play. You know, talking to Derek, who was great. You know, he understands the scenario that we're in and the situation, and very supportive of the two young guys. Those three guys obviously have worked together hand in hand all year, and you know, he'll do anything he can to help him. So, you know, that's what we're going to do.
You know, him being one of my really good friends, and you know the reason why I came here in the first place. I mean, I wouldn't be here right now if he wasn't if he wasn't here. So I think everybody knows how I feel about him, but obviously I support my guy, and